Just using this as an example because examples paint perfect pictures, right? All these people have my last name early. So by them having my last name early, I kind of noticed that the different counties like Otsego, Pottawatomie, Carver, Washburn, Lake, Decatur, like all these counties is where previously we had land in, as some mention, we had land in some of these states, um, with the last name early, right? The people who probably have these lands right now do deed transfers and um, silent acquisitions and stuff like that, right? You know, you just can't go back and claim these lands like, you know, they're yours because, you know, somebody in your family had them, whether these can be Europeans or whether these can be straight on Negroes. Um, you just can't do that, right? Because if you go back and claim the land through some type of deed acknowledgement, right, you're gonna have to go through court processes. And if you can't prove that these people are related to you, then how are they going to how can the county give you this land through a probate process? How can they give you this land? Um, and I know I'm probably contradicting myself from the last video I made about land patents. But it was like I always like to invoke ideas so I can get people to thinking, and I have to mention certain things because I know people who want to hear something different. They're gonna come across my video and they're gonna really pay attention to what I'm saying. Um, so you know, the land patent, like, it's just an acknowledgement that you had land. It's just an acknowledgement that you had the right to use that land. But once you sell that property or that house or that acreage, it's no longer yours. And like these land patents are like from the 1800s. So it's like these descendants, their descendants probably don't even have this land. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to see that someone who has the last name early, like I do, right? They own land in all these states: Wisconsin, Illinois, Colorado, Arkansas, Kansas, South Dakota, California, Indiana. It's interesting. Florida. How can you forget about Florida? Minnesota, Wyoming. Let's look at the one in Wyoming, right? So this is the actual deed. And some of this writing is not legible, right? You really can't read it. Um, right. This is an old document, right? So it's established and duly committed. So if this person have living heirs, right? And I noticed like some of these people who got this last name really like I may have passed a relative who may have owned some of this land. You know, I can't prove. I don't have a DNA test, so I won't be able to prove it. It's just an acknowledgement. It's just records. Like, how do you prove that someone in your family owns some of this land? How can you prove that any of them is your family? And you can download the patent and everything. Some people would just be like, these people were in my family. We got the same last name. I I want to go through a court process to prove that this land belongs to me. Some people will do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Um, Let me see. Humboldt, Grant. Let me see. And it would have been perfect if they would have had like the races of the people, like like their origin, their status, or something like that, to kind of prove that because you can be looking at a person like Isaac Bowen, right? You don't know if that's a Negro, you don't know if that's a white person, you don't know. That's why it's like you really can't rely on records, you know. John Early, a lot of Johns, a lot of Josephs. Mm-mm-mm-mm. And I'm surprised I couldn't find anyone from Georgia who have that last name, who may own the land pad, right? Like because I own a deed to a house, but if I don't pay the taxes on the house or I don't pay, the mortgage on the house, it doesn't matter. Of course, you can in the future go back and file a lawsuit, right? When the laws get cured, but in the meantime, what can you do? You can't do anything. You only got 80 years to live on this earth. You know. So that's that. Great peace, Yakoki.